Hello everybody, Apollo here with my video series of ATC, GCI and AWACS for DCS gaming. Today we're gonna talk about height, altitude, levels, angels and feet and pressure and stuff. Okay, before we get up in the air, we have to learn a little bit more about the atmosphere. So here we go. I have here a model of the atmosphere. Yes, it's a slinky. And you can see that, further down it's get more of these pressure lines closer together, and up here you get more of them further apart. And then you can have a high pressure, and it looks like this, and you can have a low pressure, and they get even further apart. So that's not really good if you want to have systems working together. You need to have some kind of a standard. You need a standard atmosphere, and it looks like this. Here you can see that standard atmosphere is actually fairly consistent. It reduces its temperature about 2 degrees centigrade per 1,000 feet, and also the pressure reduces about 35 hectopascal or millibars per 1,000 feet. And yeah, that's roughly 1 inches of mercury per 1,000 feet. And if you got this system that is fairly If you got this system that is fairly consistent, you can actually make a machine that can tell you what level you are if you measure the pressure. And here's a pressure measuring gauge. It's also called an altimeter. And this one does not work. But anyway, what this does is takes the static pressure, you can see there, from behind, and within some springs and dials down here, you can have it read out what level you are at. Of course, if you want to know the reference point or reference plane, you have to, screw this little bugger here so you can put it on 1013. That is the standard atmosphere. So it's very good to have everybody on the same reference plane. And that's good. Yeah, that was a good take. Cool. Woohoo! As you all know, modern fighters uses also the radar altimeter and maybe GPS height to know where they are at a specific level. But when you're doing war and flying together with others, you want to have the same reference plane. LOL. Plane. You understood that? Yeah, you're good. Okay. So what kind of reference planes are there? Well, I'll tell you. We have the mean sea level, MSL. We have the ground, GND. And we have the standard, STD. Not that kind of STD, you pervs. Anyway, MSL uses QNH, GND uses, if it were on an airport, uses QF echo. And the standard uses, well, you only say standard, but the correct code is actually QN echo. And the standard is, well, you know this, it's 1013 hectopascal or millibars, it's 760 millimeters of mercury, or 2992 inches of mercury. And why do you use standard at all? I mean, you could understand why using mean sea level, because everybody uses that if you're flying close to the ocean, all that. And using the airport's reference sometimes, yeah, you could understand if you're doing like aerobatic shows like that or stuff. But the standard, well, it's because civil traffic travels across weather systems. So instead of like changing their QNH settings from like once every 10 minutes, once every 5 minutes, they just use the standard setting, and airplanes across continents can meet or even in uncontrolled airspace without having the risk of collisions. So that's why they're using standards. However, in DCS, we could actually be in a situation that we have, somebody's using ground reference, somebody's using the QNH settings, and that can be a bit different if you have the ground somewhere, and you can actually risk of colliding. Where are you? Here you are. So what you do? Well, in your AO, you just determine in this whole AO we're using the force QNH and deal with it, and you have like a system like this in the whole AO, and that is actually uses in real life, the force QNH. Use that. Okay, I know there's a lot of different words here and what is called what, so let's get through a list here for you. We got, for the levels, something called height, and height is the altitude above an airport or ground, the QF echo thing, and the altitude is the altitude above mean sea level, or the QNH thing, or the force QNH thing. And the flight level, well, that's the altitude on standard setting actually, but hundreds of feet. And that is, if you have 16,000 feet, if you're out flying on that, it's actually on flight level 160. You just take away the last 2 zeros, and then you got the flight level, if it's on the standard setting. And if you have ever heard about the thing called Angel, well, it's nowadays uses for level for friendlies. World War II was used for almost everything. And that is thousands of feet. And that is, if you have 16,000 feet, well, that's Angel 16. You remove the 3 last zeros there. Wait, stop. Why in God's name are we using feet as a measurement? I mean, why not meters or something else? I mean, feet, it's not really... What is based on? Oh yeah, it's based on a yard, thank you very much. 1/3 of a yard. And what's yard based on? It's based on something a king made up in the 13th century in Britain. So why don't everybody uses meters? Well, it's because, you know, don't fix something that ain't broke. It actually works. So just suck it up, right? 1 foot is actually 0.3048 meters, which makes 1,000 feet is 304, like 304 meters and 80 centimeters. And 1 meter is then 3.28 feet and 10 inches. Well, the meter is actually an SI unit and is defined by the length the light travels in a vacuum in 1 per 299,792,458th of a second. Yeah, so it's about exactly that long. So if you want to use feet and meters in the same area, like at an airport, you know, if you have a vegan that does meters and you have somebody else that flies with feet, you have to have a comparison table. And I can show you the comparison table here. You know that 1,000 feet is roughly 300 meters. And that goes the same with the 2,000 feet, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet is roughly plus 300 meters. But then at 6,000, you add up a little bit because, you know, the feet was actually a little bit more than 30 centimeters. So you have to add up at a certain level. And then you go on and on and on, up. And then again, at 16,000 feet, you add up another 50 meters. And, well, you can check the rest on the ICAO webpage. I won't tell you this here, but that's why you add up stuff, because it's a little bit more than 30 centimeters per feet. All right, so there's a lot of stuff here, I know that, and we have to go through another list until we come to the good stuff. Okay, so what units are we using here? Well, the units for pressure is hectopascal, inches of mercury, and millimeters of mercury. And what units are we using for altitude? Well, you got meter and you got feet. And then you want to know which modules uses which kind of reference here, because you could have that one and maybe that one and that one. Let me show you. Not surprising, it's Imperial side that uses feet, and the ones doing meters are the ones that want to be correct. Well, or just not Imperial. As you also can see, the ones Imperial doing mostly inches of mercury. Some of them are doing actually the hectopascal part. Some is actually doing both. On this side you can see the Russians are doing millimeter of mercury and the others are doing the hectopascal. And you can see the little odd bird here is the French helicopter, since there's a French fighter here doing the feet. But the French helicopter is actually doing meters and hectopascal. Good on you. So in AWACS and GCI, you usually just say like 18,000s. You use the 1,000 stuff. You don't use the flight level. That's only if you're an ATC and have, you know, the planes on standard settings, and you're going to give them the other like separation and stuff. So you usually just say the 1,000 stuff. And for friendlies, there are some that uses the angels just to make them a bit different when you do the bra call or the bullseye call. And if you do meters, well, what I did back in the days when I was a fighter controller, we didn't say it's on 8,000 meters. We said it's at 8. Or if it was 8,500 meters, we said 8.5. So we took away those hundreds and thousands stuff there. We just said 8.5, and everybody knew that. But in Swedish, of course. But anyway, so that's how you say that. And if you're playing as an ATC dude, well, you're using the thousands, like climb to 5,000 feet, climb to 8,000 feet or whatever, up till the transition altitude. And this is maybe a little bit too advanced for like a generic community. Just have somewhere where you stop saying thousands of feet and go up to through the transition layer up to flight level. So but hey, if you're always using the 29 or 92 or 1013, everything is the same anyway. But you usually just say like thousands of feet and low thing and flight level up. So if you look at the low tech thing here, up here on this side, we can see we have some targets here, and if you look at the label, let's check this one out. I will zoom in here, you guys, and you see it says the TN8481. That's the track number. It's unknown. It's at 260. What's that? Well, this is actually a label that is short, and if I have my mouse over it, well, it says 26,000 feet. And we have no idea which altimeter setting it has, but this is apparently Lutech is a very good 3D radar, so they can detect this anyway. So, but anyway, so we don't know if it's like on mean sea level or ground or whatever. It's just 26,000 feet. But anyway, so we say 26,000 feet. So if you move your mouse over, you can see if you found that. You can actually change this if you go into options here, labels, and you go down. Let's see here. Yeah, for the air targets, these one or maybe the unknowns. You can see down here for the normal. There's one thing here says alt is short. And for the hovered, when you put the mouse over it, it says the alt long. And if you want to change it, you can actually right here, alt long. See if I can do this live. This is not live, you know, but I haven't done this before. Alt long, like that. No, not like that, but just like that, and close it. And then it should show me, maybe I have to restart it. It should show the long version here. No, it doesn't. So I did something wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. Alt-long for the normal. Oh, that's the unknown. All right, here we go. Let's classify it as unknown air. There you go. Can you see the difference? Yeah. So for the unknown, which I marked, not the one that's marked unmarked, then you got the long altitude there, and that could be interesting if you want to see it climbing or descending. Also, when you're doing the GCI stuff, usually just give them like a range of the level where they're at, because they need to know if they're going to look up with the radar or look down with the radar. So if they're climbing and they're like through 25,000 feet, 262, you don't say that. You say about 27,000 feet climbing, or an approximation, because they want to see with their radar approximately where to look to find the little sucker. But then if you do a declare call, more important to be more precise, even with the level then. All right, thank you for watching, and as always, you're clear to elevate. See ya!